Patch 128 is a complete PvP overhaul disguised as a weapon update. If you're still playing like it's 127, you're not going to survive 128. Your recoil's different, your accuracy is lying to you, and your scope is probably going to betray you. But here I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about these huge changes to PvP. If you liked the video, please leave a like or a subscribe, it really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Whoa. I think I just turned that guy into a satellite. If you've tried these changes or you're unhappy with them or you love the changes, let me know down below because you never know who's listening. Let's start with what's changed under the hood because it's not just a few stats. Weapon handling has been reworked completely. The whole raise/lower mechanic is no longer all or nothing. Now there's a transition zone. Your gun tucks in instead of snapping up when close to objects. You can still shoot, but you can't aim down sights. That movement when you try to peek and panic fire is slower now. If you're not in control, you're just giving someone else the kill. Then there's recoil. Most rifles have been hit with either increased kick or more unpredictable patterns. This is extremely noticeable on the assault rifles. However, it does seem like the SMGs, such as the Bison, are way more manageable now, making them far more reliable in tighter fights. Weapon sway also feels totally different, especially when crouched or prone, which is going to be incredible for snipers. Although it technically feels like a subtle change, the practical benefits of using this when actually sniping in the moment is just so much better. And just a heads up, be careful when using suppressed weapons, they do seem to wear out faster, so if you're doing a long range suppressed sniping run, maybe be careful and monitor your suppressed weapon more closely. But accuracy, that's a trap. Optics used to give a boost to accuracy, not anymore. Now even if your crosshair is perfect, dispersion might still throw your bullet wide, unless you're steady, braced and use proper attachments. If you're rushing long range shots or just slapping a scope on anything, expect to miss more than you hit. Precision now actually means precision. This sounds scary, but it does add an interesting layer in the middle of PvP. And speaking of scopes, there's a joke there, but even for my channel, I'm not touching that one. There are 3 new ones: the Marksman Mil-Dot scope, the PSO-6, and the Sport Point Sight. The Marksman scope is especially brutal. 10 times zoom, zeros to 1100 meters, and effectively turns standard rifles into long-range threats. And when you pair it with the SV98, you're basically unstoppable. You're also pretty unstoppable when firing at the infected because guns now do way more damage to infected. But keep in mind, the same can't be said for players. And something I've heard a few people actually mention is the sound changes. Now every gun's audio has been changed. If you're close, it's no big deal, but past around 100 meters, most guns sound nearly identical, blending into the vague recycled gunshot sound. If you trained your ears to ID weapons from a distance, which most people do, good luck with that now. This is going to be one of those hit and miss things for a lot of people who've been playing the game for a while, who can identify what type of gun it is. It's going to be much more difficult now, but you know, with the rate of fire, you can still usually identify what type of gun it is. At least if you're running towards somebody who's just rapidly firing in a distance, then you know that you've probably got a good shot at taking them out. If you have a long range gun, just make sure you don't get too close. Additionally, on Recoil for PvP, they've also added more dynamic events in the form of helicopter crash sites and also boats, which spawns military gear, so be on the lookout because these boats do spawn around the coast. Specific calibers also seem to degrade guns quicker, adding more to an already huge PvP shuffle. But if you want a huge list of PvP tips and tricks that still work in patch 128, then click this video here, or for something else, click here. And as always, until next time.